Well, Jackie, thank you so much for joining me this morning, all the way from Texas, El Paso area. Glad to have you with us. Jackie Stevens Agüero from El Paso, Texas. And you are the owner and broker there for Jackie Stevens Home Team. So welcome.
Thank you so much for inviting me over.
Of course. Well, we were talking a little bit earlier. The whole reason for this podcast is to capture the mindset of a champion. And when I watch your social media post and your hubby Edgar, you guys are on fire out there. It's amazing.
Oh my goodness. Yes, it takes a lot of willpower and exactly like you said, mindset. But that's what we have to do together. We make it a priority to have that mindset.
That's fantastic. Well, you know what? We want to get to know you a little bit better. We want to be able to send some good referrals your way. Tell us a little bit about how you got started in the business.
Okay, so this is literally, it may surprise people on how I even got started. And basically, I actually wanted to be a lawyer, an attorney in criminal justice. And
Wow.
um, right after high school, I was already trying to see what classes and so forth. And I had a friend of mine that said, why don't you go into the sheriff's department and see if you can apply for a correctional officer role. And I said, a corrections officer? Like, why would I want to do that? You want to see if you want to do criminal justice because you're going to be around criminals. Don't ask me why I took that as like, I'm doing it. Went and set my mind to it, became a correctional officer at the age of 20. From
Oh
20
man.
from 20 to 25 years old, I was doing a lot of shift work and also having Edgar's little gems, my kids. And
Yes.
I was around prisoners, for 5 years, and so I said, I
Who
can't,
knew?
and this is not fitting me. Like, I can't do this, and I was so girly. I've always been really girly, wanted my hair done, my nails, my outfits. And there, being a correctional officer, you can't wear makeup. You got to put your hair in a bun. You got to wear these combat boots and these little BDUs. And,
Yeah.
you know, I told my husband, I can't do this. This is crazy. So every day that I would go to my job, the jail, I would pass by this little pink office. It was really run down, and it would say Real Estate Academy. And I would pass by it to and from every day that I went to work. And I would tell myself, real estate, like what, how do you do that? So one day after work in the morning, I stopped by and I said, hey, listen, like, how do you, what is this real estate academy? And oh, it's 6 courses. You become a realtor, you can sell properties. And I said, I think I'm going to try that.
That's what I'm doing.
I'm going to do that. And don't ask me how. Like, I signed up. I was taking 6 courses at the academy. At that time, they didn't have online.
Hmm.
So I physically had to go to class until I finished. That took me a while. And
Sure.
before you knew it, I resigned from the sheriff's department of 5 years and then just went cold turkey into real estate, which my husband was hot and cold about that
He's
situation.
like, you did what?
What do you mean? We're not going to have pay, plus my salary because you're going in with
Sure.
$0. So that's how I started real estate, and it's been a adventure. This month will mark my 19th year anniversary. So this was 19 years ago.
That's fantastic. That's amazing. So one day you're employed at the jail, the next day you're unemployed as a realtor
Unemployed.
until you make your first dollar. No, we understand that, and as lenders, we're unemployed
Yeah.
until somebody employs us, and as you know, we help the families through. Well, That's quite the story. Nobody would have guessed that's where your career path was starting, where you were heading, and you just went, turned that car around and said, I'm going this way.
Yes, I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did that U-turn in my life.
I'm sure glad that you did that because your community, no doubt, has benefited from you doing that, and now helping, the El Paso area there. And speaking of that, maybe you can just share a little bit about what markets you cover for referral purposes, and kind of share how your market's going.
Yeah, so I do serve the El Paso, Texas area. I Not so long ago, I hung my license in the New Mexico area because we are
Mhm.
literally, you have New Mexico on one side of the street and Texas on the other. But I noticed that my attention kind of went everywhere when I did that. So I
Mhm.
solely focused in my market, El Paso. And then, of course, I refer to New Mexico. So we have agents on our team that will take the New Mexico clients. But the El Paso market right now, I've seen listings increasing quite a bit.
Mhm.
So we are very listing heavy right now. The market is doing this still. So our
Yes.
home buyers are still there. But I can see that, maybe some loan applications are down. I don't know if you've seen that on your
Yeah.
end.
Mhm.
Yes. So our goal right now is to focus on, these awesome programs that are out there and,
Yes.
let and educate the home buyers still here in El Paso, first time home buyers, and let them know those programs are out there. So that's what we are working on right now. But overall, the market is still there. We're still good in inventory, but the buyers, they need to know that there's a lot of help out there right now.
That's really good overview. And, that was a question that was in my mind, is because I get asked that all the time. Well, there's no inventory. We're here in Southern California, and people will say that. And, I talk to my busy realtors and they're like, yes, there is. There's people that are buying and selling every day. There's inventory. Now, it might be in smaller supply in certain areas out here, but in talking with some of our realtor partners in maybe the Dallas area or San Antonio, they're telling me there's plenty of inventory. And it sounds like even in the El Paso area, you cover that whole, there's inventory there, and people are moving in and out. So a lot of activity.
A lot of activity. We get a lot of clients from California. We get a lot of clients from Colorado, all these wonderful places where they're cashing out there and coming right
Yeah.
here to Chicago. And I wouldn't blame them. The real estate here, our median sales price is like 265. So
Wow.
again, I mean, you will live in luxury, a very nice home at 400, $500,000. So taxes are high here in El Paso. That's something that's it is what it is. We are very high in our taxes, but inventory all around, especially new home construction, they are offering so many incentives to wheel in those home buyers.
Yeah, that's amazing. So if I was to move to Texas, I'm aware that property taxes, there's always they got to get you somewhere, but
Yes,
there's no income tax, right?
income tax.
That's
Nope.
huge,
Exactly.
huge.
So it's
Why
yeah.
why wouldn't there as a business, or that's such a, you can deal with the taxes there, property taxes, but that's an amazing, hook to say, I'm going to move from an area where they're killing us, and I'm going to move to another area where I can get the biggest bang for my buck. And I've
Yeah.
seen the houses that you and Edgar are posting. I mean, my goodness, they're beautiful properties.
So beautiful. Yes, they're so beautiful. So, I mean, we do have inventory here in all price points. Of course, our baby ones, like 200 and down, those go really quickly, multiple offers and so forth. So, again, the market is this is how I always say it. We make the market,
Yes.
just interpret it, of course, but we also, our mindset's gonna tell us, how good the market is or how bad the market is.
Yeah. Now you mentioned our buzzword, mindset. And we're focusing in on people like yourselves who are champions because of that mindset. Uh, Talk to me a little bit more about what it takes to maintain a champion mindset.
I feel it does take some discipline and, collaborating with always people that they have a higher level of knowledge than you, or they know a little bit more, or that's how we push forward. Is I don't want to be that complainer in the back. The complainer is it's not going to get you anywhere. But how I tell my kids, if you're eating from a garbage can, you're eating garbage. But if you're eating
Yes.
from a luxury buffet or a buffet of fresh foods and so forth, and you're feeling yourself, you're gonna get good out of that. So you in this type of business, what we do is you have to be with the high leveled achievers and keep your mindset up there, and you can do it. If they could do it, you can do it. So you got to keep positive with every struggle and every trench.
Yes, I love that advice. And there's a good friend of mine that and he's with the top lender in the country, United Wholesale Mortgage out of Michigan. And his famous quote is, keep your mind right and your grind tight.
I
Right?
love that.
Isn't that
Yes,
good? But
I love
it
that.
starts right where you said, every day when we wake up, our mindset, maybe the night before it starts. We
Mhm.
we're we know our calendar, we know we're going to have some challenges. And we understand in our business, sometimes we have some difficult news to share with people.
Yeah,
And this same fella that I talked to with the mindset techniques, he says, you know what? Tackle that stuff first thing in the morning. Get
everyone.
that tough business done early so that the rest of your day will go smooth. Because some of
Absolutely.
us, oh, we're just like, I don't want to share that news, and we'll just wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. Next thing you know, people are calling you. What's the story? What's the status? And you've been dreading it all morning. It's like, get it done.
Just get it
Ha-
out of your system. Get it
Handle
out.
it.
Exactly. Handle it dead on. And I think, sometimes some of us just want to put the covers over our face in the morning, but
Yeah.
like you said, it all starts the night before. So it's important to train your mind and discipline it when to turn it on and off. And
Yeah.
that's how we normally do it is we do have a calendar. We do follow some discipline, because our kids see
Hmm.
us doing that too. So we want
Sure.
them mimic us for the future, and
Sure.
go to bed early, maybe write your goals down the night before. Then you get up with just being grateful for that day, count your blessings instead of
Ooh, that's a good one.
complaining, or what you are and or what you are, lacking effort in. And, maybe like with me, I pray, I do a little bit of manifestation. I treat myself well in the mirror. Like, sometimes there's some things that I don't like about myself, but I say don't do that because then that's how I'm going to show up at work. So,
Sure.
yeah, it's just discipline and just keeping the good habits going. Mhm.
Yeah, that's really well said. And it reminded me of my wife too, Jennifer. She's a hair and makeup artist, and so
Wow.
she's very aware of helping people look and feel their best. And every night before I go off to work or before she goes to, we talk about that for the next day. She'll ask, "Hey, are you all set for this appointment tomorrow? Are you ready for this podcast? Tomorrow at this time?" And she prepares my mind. And there's some things that, we all get busy, and I'm thinking, yeah, have I really thoroughly prepared for some of the things that we might talk about? And so I truly appreciate that nudge from Jennifer that says, hey, are you ready for tomorrow? You ready to go? Get that
I love
mind
that.
right.
Good job, Jennifer. We got to push each
She, she's a sweetheart, I'll tell you.
other.
And it's really that's what it comes down to, right? It comes down to what we feed ourselves, like you said, from that buffet. We put that, just like we would feed ourselves physically, got to feed ourselves mentally with that good mental fuel.
Correct. Yes.
What does that say behind you? Good vibes only, right?
It says good vibes only, and I chopped off the good vibes. Do you see it now?
I see it. Yes, yes, yes.
I should leave it like that, huh? So
Tell me
it's
a
good
little bit about
vibes
that.
only. Yes, we opened this office like 5 years ago, and this good vibes only just reminds me and the team that we all have good vibes. We end up on fire. Like we feed off of each other,
Yes.
so nobody comes in here, my front door, it says, don't come in with excuses. Like, leave them at the door. We don't want to hear it. Like, good
Good.
vibes only. And that just helps us prepare more for the day.
That's huge for mindset. And
Yes.
no matter, for your internal, for your group, it reminds them. But I love that point. People walking in your office, leave them bad vibes outside. It's
That's right.
only good vibes in here.
That's it. Good energy.
I love
It's
hearing
one
that.
o'clock.
Yeah.
That's
Sometimes me and
super.
my husband will have our little differences. That's a funny thing too, because no, you this and you that, well, this price, and we're always going. And my Michelle, my assistant, will be like, "Good vibes only, okay,
Good vibes.
guys."
I love hearing that. And that's so important that as a business owner, as you are, to, set the right tone for people, right? And that way they have a good lead to follow. And I got to compliment your assistant this morning, Ashley, that put us on a group text and gave me communication on your behalf, and she followed through really well. So you're training your people to do good things.
Yes, and it's hard. I mean, 19 years and I'm still trying to get it. So sometimes I want to tell people, like, don't give up. Like, there be top producers where I'd be like, how are they doing it? How are they sharing? Share me your systems. Share
Yeah.
me how. And it's just learning. It's like you got to do it to be able to achieve it. So I mean, it takes a lot, and it's hard. It was very hard.
Yeah, I can imagine. And and one of the ways that we see you as a champion, my wife and I were talking about this, is you and your hubby Edgar, you guys are on fire on social media. Can you tell us a little bit, and whoever may be watching this later, can you tell us the value that you found in using social media to grow your business?
So your network ends up growing, and before, it's not the same real estate model that we've had 19 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I tell my kids all this all the time because they're already in their 20s, one's about to be 19. And I said, I gotta learn, or I'm gonna drown in this social media. So
Yeah.
the real estate or the new sales altogether, any business owner, is that social media has to be your number one
Yes.
marketer to market yourself and to market your business. Without that, it's like, I don't know how we're not gonna make it. So
Yeah.
it is rather very difficult, but that's the new way of social marketing. And Liza, the one that I closed yesterday, she was from Instagram. So I
Wow.
said, how in the world? And then TikTok, I started, and I've had about two clients from there. So it's barely starting to happen, but it took a lot for me to sit down and say, how am I going to brand myself? Or how are we going to grow from here as far as audience? So it's the new way to do business is social
So
media.
if people are not using social media, they are really missing the boat, wouldn't you say?
The boat. You are going to miss the boat. And that's something that you're going to have to break your comfort zone, because a lot of us
Mm,
don't like to be on video, and we're, oh my God, what are they going to think about my hair? And what am I going to do? Or what are they going to think about me? What if I say something wrong? Well, the only wrong is that you're not doing it. And those
mm.
people that are watching you, they're not doing it. So it might as well be you doing it.
Now that's a good point. And
Yeah.
that comes back to mindset too, is if we're so focused on, oh my goodness, people are going to be looking at me, people are going to be judging me, whatever. Well, that's the wrong mindset, right?
Wrong mindset.
We
Mhm.
want to help people. We're there to help. We're there to educate. We're champions in our field. We know our
Absolutely.
stuff more than other people do generally. And even if we say one little thing wrong, and and somebody corrects us, they might do that on social media. I know I've done it before. I wrote something and I didn't even realize it. And then later someone said, you know what? I looked this up and this is actually it. I appreciated that. And you know what? I got a response out of it.
Got a response, and that helps you build your algorithm because they responded and you're responded. Now your post is up here. So
Yes. But sometimes I'll share that afterwards. I'll say, you know what? I'll share it to people and say, nobody's perfect. I appreciate someone took their time to give me some correction, da da da. And then that just keeps the algorithms going.
right, so thank you. And then
Yeah.
sometimes you get moody people. Maybe
Yeah.
they didn't wake up and have a champion mindset, and then they want to just make you feel less than. I've had that
Hmm.
many times on my social media. So it's okay, Like there's this saying, there's this TikTok, I follow this girl, and she says, if people aren't hating on you, or you don't have at least one hater that's going to
Yeah.
criticize you, you ain't doing your job. So congratulations, you made it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so good. And, you
Yeah.
know, with the use of AI now, there's a lot of people using AI, right? And I had someone make this statement to me or make a comment the other day and say, oh my goodness, AI is going to replace my job. It's going to replace me. And I heard another really good quote to combat that mindset, negative mindset thinking that says, no, AI is not going to replace your job. It's the people using AI in a good way that will replace your job.
Oh, that's a good one.
Right?
That's a good one. Yes. I'm gonna need you to text me that
I'm
after.
going to have to
I
text that to
gotta
you
use that.
because I'm
Yeah.
trying to remember that every day. It's not somebody else that's, that the tool is bad, but if you use it right, other people have already been using it. And if we refuse to use it and jump on board like social
Yeah.
media,
Yes.
it's those people that are going to take our jobs, not the tool.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
we're gonna be okay. And there's always gonna be challenges in our real estate market. And going back to 2008, look what happened. Then we
Yeah.
had COVID. Then we're dealing with this settlement or whatever. But
Yeah.
we always come out stronger than ever. So we need these type of challenges and these turnarounds so that we could be better. So I mean, you just gotta pivot and keep on going.
Yes. And you said it. You said the S word. I'm sorry, settlement. Tell me a little bit. There's some agents that when they saw that, they're like, I'm going, I'm picking a different business. I'm leaving
Out
it.
of here.
Tell me a
Yeah.
little bit about your mindset on this whole settlement thing. I'm not asking you to deep dive, but what do you think
So
about it?
I am one to take it all in. So I like to listen to everything, read everything, and then I go and follow like top agents to get like their perspectives. And then
Hmm.
after that, I just analyze everything because I always want to be the biggest cheerleader for everybody, not even people that are on my team, because I feel we as realtors are we're a community. So we got to stay together. And so I kind of dissected it and said, okay, how this is scary, yes, but how are we going to turn it around and make it still a go for home buyers and home
Right.
sellers where they know they're still winning with us? And yeah, a lot of people, we got to 10x our value. Now we got to do buyer presentations. And I said, you know what? All we need to do, team, is do exactly what we've been doing
That's
on the
right.
listing presentations and with our home buyers. But the only thing we are going to reiterate, which this is what we've always have been doing this, but again, bad habits. We were never having the buyer sign a buyer's representation before showing.
That's right.
We 60% of the time we're not doing that. 40% of the time some people are.
Sure.
So we just got to go back and do what we've been doing for many years and say, hey, listen, we can't show you these homes until you got to sign a buyer's representative. But let me tell you why this is important. And then easy, just kind of break it down. We're going to show you homes that are going to pay my compensation. And, we'll go from there, but we're going to figure it out. And sign, we move on. So buyer
Yep.
done part, done. Seller part, I thought this was going to be worse, right? In my head, I'm like, gosh, this is really going to happen. Like, how am I going to go? I started trying to doubt myself. How am I going to go
Mhm.
explain to sellers now why they don't have to pay a buyer's agent?
Right.
In my head, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm not going to decrease my value, or my commission. It's
No
3%,
way.
right? So now how am I going to educate them on why it's important to pay a buyer's agency? And we're going to see what happens. Well, I lost one listing. I'm going to say only because I feel proud of myself, because I wasn't going to go lower than what they expected me. And then the very first one that I got because of the NAR settlement, I only came down 1%. And we were able to sell the house. But that guy was
Yeah.
just very like, I didn't want to mess with it. So, and it was so new and fresh with the NAR. I should have used the word but. And so today, I have not had any issues because we are over
Yeah.
educating sellers. So we have no issues right now with
That's fantastic. That
being
that's the
paid
key.
or having. That's
That's
the
the
key.
key.
You got
Education.
is education. And maybe that's how this all started. We were just not educating enough. We made our jobs look too easy, and it's not easy. We all know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your job's not easy, my job's not easy. We just made it look too easy on social media, but now we
Yeah.
gotta show what we really do.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
for those that, those realtors that were um, kind of skating easily, not over communicating. I think for them, the adjustment might be a little tougher. They can make it if they truly want to, or they're going to jump ship and say, I don't want to have to do all this. I'm uncomfortable. But those of you who have been adding value for years and have been educating people anyways, most people won't even blink an eye at it. They'd be like, oh yeah, that's normal. There's always two agents. There's the person that represents me. There's the person that represents the seller. No problem. They're doing work. Everybody needs to get paid.
Everybody needs to get paid. Here's the detailed task. This is what we're going to do. If this is the number you're happy walking out with today, I'm going to work my butt off to make you that. Are we good? Yes.
Yep.
Okay. And
Yeah, that's so
that's it.
good.
That's it. So we can make it hard or we can make it adjustable.
Yeah. And I think that goes back to our mindset. Like you said, we can make a big deal out of it. Then everybody thinks it's a big deal. Or we can downplay it, do our jobs even better than and it may make us rise, make us rise to the occasion on some things where
Mhm.
some people will put us to the task, but they were already doing that before. Some people, would stand there and they want to know every little detail and point, which is great. We're not hiding anything. We'll explain it all to them. So
Yes.
I'm so glad to hear.
And we're going to be better, right? We're going to be better at explaining it to you, Mr. Seller, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer. That's it. We're going to make it better, and understanding. But like you said, mindset. You can have the champion mindset or you can have the complainer one, like what's going to happen and what are we going to do? And no, that's it. I'm going to start looking for a side job and no, we're not going to make it. What am I supposed to? No, calm down, everybody. Got this.
Yeah, that's so well said by you. And I think too, Jackie, just to wrap this up, we've heard nothing but champion coming from your mouth and your mindset. How you're going to help your clients, what you do to take good care of them. You educate, you overeducate, communicate so well throughout the whole process. Anything you do before they even work with you. And there's still agents out there, as we talked about, that are trying to get a handle on this and say, should I stay in this business? Should I leave this business? I don't know what to do. What advice would you give to people that might be struggling right now? What advice would you give to them to be successful?
I would say don't give up because it's so easy to give up. But if you know this is what you want to do and you have that passion to really, really help people. And yes, this career could be very rewarding, but it requires a lot of heart and soul, passion, learning, growing. You have to be up to date. You have to start looking at tables that are bigger than you, and you go plant yourself there and get yourself with a company also that's not just I'm going to give you training, but is really
Mhm.
going to show you, train you, teach you, and go make it happen. But you do have to take the action. So act in action means something because you have to.
Mm, that's good.
So I always have that in my board with the team because action is like everybody says what they want to do, but nobody really takes action on it. And I think that's where people need to really step it up. Okay, so
Yeah.
we have a short amount of time in life, and you gotta do everything that you want to do. And if this is what you want to do, you're gonna get into bigger circles, bigger tables, and just don't give up. You keep going for it.
I love that. That's really good. And you mentioned some good things to stay on social media, stay relevant, put content out there that will help people, educate people, show them your personality. Don't be afraid to show your personality, right? You guys have fun with your videos.
You be you. Don't be somebody else that you're not, because when you do the content, you're gonna see it all over their face or your face, right? So just be you. And people are going to love you for that. They're going to call you, relate to you, be comfortable with you. And that's all I got to say. Social media, but be yourself. Brand yourself authentically.
Oh, that's well said. Well, Jackie, I really appreciate your time today. And as we spoke about before, I want to make a time where we have Edgar join us. We have another podcast series that's called Our Couples in Real Estate. And I can't wait to bring you both on that together. That'll be a
Okay.
lot of fun.
That'll
Yeah,
be
that'll be a good time. Well, we're so grateful for you, Jackie. You're serving the El Paso community and also parts of New Mexico there as well. And you keep up the good work that you're doing there to grow more successful agents that can help more and more in the community. So thank you again for joining me today.
very welcome.
That's awesome. Good job on that.
That was
I'll
fun.
just stop. I'll stop the recording part here.